It's Wednesday, January 14th. In the headlines, power has been restored to 92% of JPS customers after Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness wants the private sector to invest in cutting-edge technology to boost production. In business news, the government plans to rebuild the coffee industry. Regionally, Belize and the United States modernizes borders with new biometric data technology. And in sports, West Indies under-19s impress in the build-up to the ICC Under-19 Men's World Cup. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. 92% of customers who lost electricity due to Hurricane Melissa have now been reconnected. That's the word from Energy Minister Darrell Vaz. He shared the information while addressing Parliament on Tuesday.
In December, Westmoreland was at 18% restoration. That was the middle of December. We are now at the middle of January, and we are now at 49%. Hanover, 16,733, only 2,799 are out, 17% remain out. St. James, 62,455, only 8,287 remain out, 13% in the second city. And Trelawney, 21,019 customers, for which only 2,501, 12% remain out.
Minister Vaz notes that despite one of the most devastating natural disasters in Jamaica's history, Jamaica did not experience an all-island blackout.
Following the hurricane, 23% of customers retained service. This is as a result of investments in the grid, solid preparation for the hurricane, outstanding execution.
He says just 2.5 months after the passage of the Category 5 hurricane, important milestones have been achieved. He says all major hospitals and health centers have been restored, ensuring continuity of essential health care for services across the island.
The Black River Hospital got back light on Christmas Day. There has been 93% overall restoration of all National Water Commission pumps and water treatment facilities, supporting water security across Jamaica.
He furthers that long-term system resilience is being strengthened, including the use of polycrete to improve resistance to pole uprooting, fiberglass components on transmission lines designed to withstand Category 5 conditions, and network redesigns to reduce cascading and domino-style failures. Parents and students are being urged to sign up for a student transportation card. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says come February 1, JUTC drivers will not be accepting cash.
Again, you may visit JUTC or your Ministry of Education websites or social media pages for the link to complete the registration form. Unfortunately, from September, we have been offering free service as introductory, and then of course with Melissa, and now we are into a new year and it is unsustainable. So I want to make it very clear that come February 1st, if you do not have a student card and you have not topped up your student card to pay the subsidized fare of $50, you will be going back to the old system.
Minister Vaz was speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet press brief. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is urging Jamaica's private sector to significantly ramp up investment in cutting-edge technology to boost productivity and sustain economic growth. He says modern plants and advanced technology are essential to expanding output, creating resilient jobs, and securing Jamaica's long-term economic independence.
There is one thing that firms can do internally to improve their productivity, aside from efficient management, which is clear that Wisynco has good managers and a good and strategic board that is looking at investments. But that is to invest in your plant and invest in cutting-edge technology. In fact, the greatest multiplier of productivity is the introduction of new technology.
The Prime Minister was speaking Tuesday at the official opening of Wisynco Group's Devon H. Reynolds Brewery and Manufacturing Facility in Lakespen, St. Catherine. The $35 million state-of-the-art facility is named in honor of the company's longest-serving employee and current Director of Manufacturing.
In the last 10 years, we have just added approximately $1 billion, maybe $1.5 billion to our GDP. As a nation, that's not something that we should be proud of. We could do more. And therefore, I use this platform as I have the attention of some of our larger investors here. How are you, Adam? I use this platform to challenge the investors. Now is the time to increase that I in the equation of C for consumption, I for investment, G for government, X minus M, export and import. Let's expand the investment, but not just any kind of investment. You want cutting-edge investment, because the cutting edge that incorporates technology increases your productivity.
Dr. Holness says the government remains focused on creating a strong business environment, pointing to a significant increase in the capital budget over the past decade.
We have spurred growth by placing significant emphasis on infrastructure development. However, we need firms to contribute to the expansion of the GDP even more by increasing their investments. And we have seen this happen right before our very eyes.
The Prime Minister says the measure supports a pro-growth economy and boosts Jamaica's competitiveness regionally and globally. The Police High Command has received 1,000 body-worn cameras, which were in advanced stage of procurement in the final quarter of 2025. The Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, Hugh Faulkner, told RJR News that body-worn cameras will be critical in resolving controversial fatal police shootings. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Constabulary Force says the process of deploying Axon Body Camera 3 devices is underway, with particular focus on divisions and teams that experience high levels of citizen engagement. Another 1,000 body-worn cameras will be secured and deployed during the next financial year. As Jamaica continues to observe Earthquake Awareness Week, the Jamaica Fire Brigade is reminding citizens that earthquakes can strike without warning, and preparation can make the difference between life and death. Denita Rodney tells us more.
In recognition of Earthquake Awareness Week, the Jamaica Fire Brigade is urging the public to take earthquake preparedness seriously, noting that seismic activity can occur at any time. Speaking at a recent JIS think tank, Public Education Officer Superintendent Emilia Ebanks emphasized the importance of having an emergency plan and a well-stocked safety kit in place before disaster strikes.
So what you need to do is the same plan that you would have for the workplace, you need to tailor it for your home needs. And what that means is that you must put in place a safety kit. So you want to make sure that you have a first aid kit in there. You want to make sure you have a flashlight, a battery-powered radio. We would have seen the importance of that over the past 2 months since the passage of Hurricane Melissa, because some persons are still without electricity, and they know the importance of a battery-powered radio, as difficult as it may be to find.
Superintendent Ebanks also stressed the importance of including a sounding device in emergency kits, which can help rescuers locate trapped individuals following an earthquake.
And one of the things I want to point out to persons that you must have in that kit is a sounding device. You want to have something that can make some kind of sound in the event that you are trapped and you need to be rescued. So search and rescue teams will know that this is a sound outside of the ordinary, and they will come towards you. So if you can have a whistle, that would be very good. So you can do blasts of the whistle. And what that does for you is you are in a situation where there's a lot of dust and oxygen might be deficient in some cases. You are not using up your voice and you're not using up the oxygen to inhale and exhale to be calling out for help. So you do blasts of the whistle, and that will tell persons.
He added that if a sounding device is not available, persons should create loud banging sounds to alert emergency responders to their location.
If, for example, though, you don't have that and you find yourself in a situation where you're trapped, find something that can bang on something else and create a sound. So you're banging. Or if you have a piece of metal and you can bang another piece of metal, that will alert the rescue teams that somebody is in this area.
Earthquake Awareness Week runs from January 11 to 16 and is being spearheaded by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, under the theme, Resilient Jamaica, We Weather the Storm and Brace for the Shake. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams. Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the development shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. President of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, Dr. Norman Grant, has welcomed the government's commitment to rehabilitate the coffee industry. Dr. Grant told RJR News the country's more than 5,000 coffee farmers and exporters have also embraced the initial $35 million disbursement from the $120 million support package announced by the government. However, he stressed that a far more sustained intervention is required, noting that the sector has suffered losses of about $2.5 billion over the last 4 years. Dr. Grant pointed out that an additional 100,000 boxes of coffee were destroyed due to the impact of Hurricane Melissa, resulting in estimated farm gate losses of $1 billion. Additionally, Dr. Grant explained that the hurricane caused extensive damage to coffee farms, farm roads, and processing routes, adding that these challenges must be addressed in a sustainable manner if the industry is to fully realize its potential in foreign exchange earnings, job creation, and national development. PriceSmart says the opening of 2 new warehouse clubs in Jamaica has been pushed back following disruptions tied to Hurricane Melissa last October. According to the Gleaner, the membership-based retailer told investors on its earnings call to international investors that its 3rd Jamaican location in Montego Bay is now slated for autumn 2026, while the 4th on South Camp Road in Kingston is expected to open in winter. The company had previously targeted to open
each store a season earlier. That's about 3 months prior, according to its November annual report. CEO David Price says the company did not anticipate any further delays to club new openings at this time. For the trading period of January 13, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 2,888,962 units, representing 15.52% of market sales activities. Atlantic Hardware and Plumbing Company Limited with 2,040,483 units, representing 10.96% of market sales activities. Innovative Energy Group Limited with 1,983,241 units, representing 10.65% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, energy, and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for January 13, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $158.56 and buying at $156.77. In the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by 52 cents transaction spread. The Canadian dollar sold for $113.98 and was bought for $113.46. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $1.71 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $211.07 and was bought for $209.36. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow, timing, and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For the credit report tip of the day, luxury real estate doesn't approve itself at the showing. It's approved months earlier in your credit file. Whether purchasing from abroad, preparing for retirement, or targeting a stretch property, lenders take action on what your credit demonstrates. Control over balances, reliability in payments, thoughtful use of debt, and financial readiness for the next phase of life. Every inquiry, balance, and payment sends a signal. When those signals show planning instead of pressure, lenders respond with confidence, and properties that once seemed out of reach move firmly within range. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, security at Belize's international gateways is getting a high-tech upgrade as the government officially rolls out a new biometric screening system in partnership with the United States. Travelers entering the country will now undergo facial recognition and fingerprint scanning under the newly launched Biometric Data Sharing Program. Designed to tighten border security and streamline migration management, the technology is being deployed at all major airports and strategic land border crossings. News 5's Brittany Gordon has more details on the event.
Belize is stepping up its border security with cutting-edge technology. A brand new biometric data sharing program, launched in partnership with the United States, is now in effect. So, if you're traveling through Belize's airports, expect fingerprints and facial recognition scanners at checkpoints. The goal is to stop fraudulent documents and flag anyone who could pose a threat to public safety before they even enter the country. Immigration Minister Karim Musa says this upgrade is a big boost to Belize's security protocols.
What this means for migration and what this means for border security and national security is groundbreaking, because many might not know, but whenever a traveler enters the country, there are screening processes that take place. Of course, there is the initial screening process, followed by what could be described as a very lengthy secondary process in the event an individual is providing misleading information as it relates to their travel documents or their travel purpose. And so this will certainly expedite that process because now we're going to be tapping into international database regarding a particular individual, like I said, who is or may be subjected to secondary screenings.
Belizean officials are also being trained to utilize the technology, which is expected to be rolled out across Belize's borders within the next 2 months.
Today's event marks the formal handover of approximately $250,000 US in biometric data security partnership funded by the U.S. State Department's Bureau of INL. And this milestone continues the enduring partnership between the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and Belize's Ministry of Immigration, as well as other key agencies. Through the BDSP, we are not only sharing critical biometric data to bolster the safety of Belize and the United States, but most importantly, we are exchanging expertise, building capacity, and promoting best practices in border security. So that the software that you see and the hardware over here is just one piece of the story. This is the beginning of a long partnership between Belize and the United States.
Home Affairs Minister Oscar Mira also expressed strong support for introducing these tools, saying they will give law enforcement greater power to track potential threats and respond more efficiently.
Our involvement through the Belize Police Department will be through a mobile interdiction unit. And that unit will be a specialized unit that is going to be not at the entry points, but moving around the country. So the mobile interdiction unit is going to be vetted. We are going to ensure that the officers that are assigned to that unit are vetted officers and that they pass all scrutiny.
Musa also addressed privacy concerns, assuring Belizeans that the technology works to keep the nation safe, rather than compromising their personal data.
I think it is oftentimes something that Belizeans are worried about. But in fact, if you are a Belizean national, you actually have nothing to worry about coming into Belize because we have all your information already. This is for international travelers who are providing an international passport that may be fraudulent or a travel document that may be fraudulent, or criminal enterprises entering our country for nefarious activities. And so this is more catered towards them. Like I said, this is something that is a secondary screening, and so not everyone is going to be subjected to this. It is only if you're providing misleading information or if an immigration officer is suspicious.
Belize now joins regional partners like Mexico and Panama in adopting biometric data sharing program technology. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
In a move that marks a turning point for Caribbean education, the Caribbean Examinations Council is embracing a full digital transformation. As the council prepares to phase out paper-based assessments over the next 5 years, it is also fortifying disaster recovery protocols to safeguard the region's certification process amid escalating climate threats.
For more than 5 decades, the Caribbean Examinations Council has certified learners across the region. Now, as the education landscape evolves, CXC is signaling a major shift: full digital examinations within the next 5 years. Already, more than 10,000 students are sitting January 2026 CSEX exams digitally.
We are pleased to say that we are administering these January examinations employing our digital e-assessment and hybrid e-assessment approaches. It is our intention to offer all examinations digitally and in the context digitally in the next 3 to 5 years. Immediately after this January session of examinations, we will start preparing to serve the over 100,000 candidates who will likewise certainty and confidence will sit over 600,000 CSEC and CAPE subject entries in the traditional May-June examinations.
But digital transformation is only one part of the Council's strategy. In the face of increasing hurricanes and climate disruptions, CXC has formally approved a regional disaster and business recovery protocol, ensuring exams continue even after disaster strikes.
The CXC Board of Governors has formally approved our long-established disaster and business recovery protocol, which governs how we respond when a participating CXC member state is affected by a disaster.
That protocol is now being activated in Jamaica following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. CXC's Director of Operations, Dr. Nicole Manning, says students in affected parishes will receive special concessions, including flexible assessment.
The flexibility of schools and candidates of schools in the negatively affected areas being facilitated through what we call the modified approach, CXC's modified approach. And that includes the use of the paper one, that's the multiple choice, and the school-based assessment. So candidates will be graded on the paper one and the school-based assessment if selected to do the modified approach.
With digital exams, disaster resilience and inclusive education are at the core of its strategy, CXC says it is positioning Caribbean students to compete globally, no matter the challenge. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
In sports, we spotlight cricket. The West Indies under-19s are in fine form heading into the ICC Under-19 Men's World Cup. The Caribbean side demolished Japan by 229 runs in their final warm-up match before tournament play begins. Here's more from Nasir Mohammed.
Japan won the toss and elected to bat first, but it was the West Indies who made full use of the conditions. Opener Tanis Francis anchored the innings with an unbeaten 122 of 48 deliveries, while Shama Apple was the star performer, blasting 124 of just 65 deliveries, with 10 fours and 8 sixes. The West Indies posted an imposing 346 for 6 from their 50 overs. In reply, Japan crumbled to 117 all-out in 42.3 overs, never threatening the target. Rajai Gittins was the pick of the West Indies bowlers with 4 wickets for just 8 runs, while Vittel Laws claimed 3 for 28. This victory comes as a confidence boost for the Caribbean side after their first warm-up against Ireland was abandoned due to rain. The West Indies now turn their attention to their opening World Cup match against Tanzania on January 15th.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.